This is the Stubborn German Podcast. I'm Kevin Ostie coming to you from the secret bunker of the proprietor of the Stubborn German Brewing Company in Waterloo, Illinois, the bunker of Mr. Chris Ryan.
Well, hello, Kevin. Thank you for joining and welcome to the bunker.
Hey, Thank you. I feel like Archie. And we're also joined by our esteemed producer, Mr. Jared Chasson.
Good evening. This is where I'm coming when it hits the fan. So
yeah, well,
just so you know,
there's actually no basement. So
Well,
there's beer though.
well, yeah,
yes.
of course.
So we've done a few off-site productions in the past, one actually from my garage a few years
That's
ago.
right.
And now we're kind of doing it from yours, your recent construction. And congratulations. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was a long road, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, helping with the design and deciding where I wanted things, and then showing it to Tammy and having her say, "No, this is where it's going."
Yes. There you go.
It was fun.
So I had a lot of fun with all that. Yeah.
Well, for those who listen to this podcast, we've stepped away for a minute, but now we are completely back.
Totally.
Chris has been. Are you fully prepared with the German word of the day?
Oh, we're still doing that?
It's up to
This
you.
is season 4 now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We still do that in season 4?
I believe. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we grew out of. Okay, I have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Okay. The German word of the day is Uriel.
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 Is there an L at the end? Uriel or Uria?
Is there an L in the middle?
Oh, actually, I said it wrong.
Dang it.
See?
It's Urlaub.
Oh,
It
Urlaub. Well,
sounds
that's
so
totally
similar.
different. Yeah.
Urlaub.
Yeah, I mixed that up with a different one.
Urlaub.
Yeah,
Okay.
Urlaub. I had the
Urlaub.
Wow. We don't have a guest to let him go
Do you-
first.
do you want me to
kill
spell
time,
it?
So.
Yes.
Will that
Yeah.
help?
Can you use it in a sentence?
Let me make sure I spell
In
the right
English.
one. No. Urlaub.
Yeah. Urlaub.
Urlaub. Uriel. That's so funny.
Urlaub. What do you think, Kevin?
Thanks a lot. Very subtle.
Yes.
Is that your answer?
Urlaub. Well, I want to say that Urlaub is an adjective, I'm going to say,
An adjective.
and it means remote.
Remote. Okay. Not a noun. Remote.
Not like a remote control, like we went somewhere remote.
We're on remote.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
I
past
see
the
what you're up to.
Urlaub.
Yeah.
Past the Urlaub. I'm tired of watching
this
Golden
is,
Girl.
This is an Urlaub session.
Yeah.
Because we are remotely
That's a good
doing
idea.
it.
Okay.
We're not at the home base of the Stubborn German Brewing
Urlaub.
Company.
This
See
is
what
a
he's
tricky
doing
one.
here.
Let's see. I'm gonna say. I'm just looking out the window here to see what's inspiring me.
Well, that's how I pick my words.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
The sprinkler over
I
there
was
is
just
a
thinking,
Wasser spritzer.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah, a Wasser spritzer.
it's not
The old
allowed
Wasser spritzer.
in the yard.
I'm gonna say this is not very creative, but I'm gonna say berm. It's a berm.
Okay.
You got a nice berm back
We have
there.
a nice Urlaub back there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
Well,
right as,
that's your guess. So, all right. We have remote and berm. Can't wait. So,
Wow.
stay tuned to the end of this episode.
yeah, that'll be really fulfilling and gratifying to know what
sure.
that means.
There's no confetti in this ceiling, by the way.
Yeah, well, not yet. So, one of the things we're chatting about is because this is season 4, episode 1, and the time of year and the calendar, it is the brand spanking fresh kickoff to summer 2024.
That it is.
And
Feels like it out there.
It does. It's
once
hot.
again, the switch got flipped,
Right.
and now it's summer.
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
It was beautiful, and then it wasn't.
I love it. I'm a summer guy. I like the
Yeah.
hot weather, the whole deal. And it made me realize that, if you're a beer aficionado, there are considerations
There sure are.
when it comes to summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You buy into a light, crisp beer for this, or a heavy beer for the fall. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is also like the meal level, because some of those heavier beers, you don't even need to eat dinner. You just drink those.
That's the point, yeah.
Yes. But then, if you're out on the lawnmower or something, or you're golfing or whatever, and you go for a summer-themed beer in one of the Shandies or the Rodlers or, any of those, Rodler, I guess, is what it is with a D, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's half juice and
Sorry,
half
I just
booze.
keep thinking about a beer that I can name Wasser spritzer.
That'd be a good summer beer, man.
I think
the
it would be.
sprinkler.
I know. You really got me thinking about this now.
the sprinkler. I can see the artwork on the can already.
Yes. So we don't really have a lot of grass around the new shed that we just built. So I have the water sprinkler going right now, which is why they're all talking about the Wasser spritzer.
Right.
It's kind of a nice, soothing, back and forth motion. That
It sure is. Yeah,
it's fun to stare at.
What is that? Oscillating, kind of, or what would you call that?
It's what is the word of the day?
Urlaub.
It's urlaubing.
Yep.
So yeah,
Anyway,
I
sorry.
think, I think that there's definitely some merit to reaching into a cooler and pulling out something light and crisp and fruity in the summertime
For sure.
to drink a beer. And you guys do some of those.
Oh yeah. We've got some summertime beers on right now, and then coming up really soon. I think as we record this, tomorrow Tidy Whitey comes out, so that's one of our typical summertime beers, nice and refreshing. Got a little hint of some citrus there, like real citrus fruit, not even from the hops. And we do stuff
Not like orange Pez or something. It's real citrus.
Citrus fruit.
There are different ways that you could fake some citrus, and we don't do that.
How do you fake citrus?
There's fake flavors, and
I guess so. Yeah.
not this one.
You got the real seal on it.
It sure is. And Stub Light is we've got that out right now. We've got 2 Pilsners. We have all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. Oh, and Never Say Never. That's our sour that we never make sours, but
right, I saw that.
so we did it one time last year, and it did really go well in the summer as a lawnmower beer, because it's not like full on sour, but it's just got some tartness.
Yeah.
And it seems to like really work well when you're finished doing chores outside. You just grab one of those, and it's like having a water with lemon in it. It's only 3.5% alcohol, so it's not like you're not going to get drunk off of. I mean, you have to drink 10 of them.
You just need to buy more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you sure do. Thank you, Kevin.
Secrets out.
Yeah, well, you've heard us tell the story before about how when I was in Southern California and a server at a shishi restaurant came up to us and offered us an IPA.
The IPA.
Right. So I thought of a good IPA for you if you really wanted to do it. You could do a submarine-themed IPA and call it IPA Nemo.
Okay.
And you could be the guy from Ipanema.
The guy from Ipanema?
Instead of the girl from Ipanema. I mean, there's levels there, Jay.
Sure. Oh,
That's
for sure.
actually 2 beers now that I have Ipanema. All right. Very good. This has been a really nice, productive podcast.
Yeah, see? We'll work for brats, man. So, and in the summertime theme, we all just enjoyed some bratwurst that were butchered by Chris. It was really nice.
Yeah, we made them, yeah.
Homemade
Or
brats, and they were
stuffed.
amazing. Yep.
Yeah, they were good. So I get all my supplies from Schneider's here in town and the meat, and then I like their brats too. I love them. They make the Stubborn brat. He has Stubbornfest in it, and that's a great one.
That's real good.
But
you said forget that. I'm making my own.
I'm a maker.
Okay.
I gotta make my own junk. So yeah.
But there's never enough combinations of bratwurst and flavors that you can do them.
Schneider's has like 250 of them, and they're all good.
If only we had more. I know. That's what I always say.
It's like, 251? Come on.
Yeah, someday you'll be able to go beer for brat. You just keep coming up with different, Ipanema against some kind of brat. That'll work well. So when you're doing your summer menu of beers, how far out do you plan that?
Oh gosh, that's 2 to 3 months. But I don't know. It's easier now since we've been open for like 88 years. So 80 years.
80 years.
We've been open
Feels
like 80 years. So
So is the calendar saved at this point? Do you just call it up and go, okay, this is June. This is what we're
in
doing.
my head.
We've done it.
Yeah, and I mean I've got ways to find out what we made in the summer last year. But I mean, you remember the successes. You also remember the epic failures, and you don't ever do those again. And you always do the ones that, or maybe do double of the ones that sell really well.
There's a third beer name, by the way.
What?
Epic failure.
Epic failure.
Limited batch.
I'm not gonna name a beer epic failure.
It would
Kevin.
sell. Just trust me on that.
It probably would.
Now, as we sit here, we have a can of what do we got here?
That is the last of the present use ale.
Yeah. Well,
that's what comes home with me is like whatever we need to just kind of get rid of.
Yeah, which just happens to be stuff you like a lot.
Well, that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, right. But where I was going with that is the can, right? So you can go to Stubborn and get a beer in a glass off the tap, but you guys have been canning for a while.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I've always had and never asked anybody is getting back to summertime. You got yourself a 12-pack of bottles or a case of cans or a sixer of cans, in your case, whatever it might be, and you're planning the weekend, but it's like Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And then on Thursday, you find out that they all got warm. Mm. Yeah, and then you ice them or put them in the freezer and try not to forget and all that stuff. Does that affect the beer inside of a can?
Well, first of all, I'm not happy even to hear that scenario. That's not good.
No, it's not. It's somebody. It happened to somebody else once.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, no, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, a lot of beers are okay if they're warmed up. I would say like most lighter beers, light lagers, even light ales, beers that don't have a lot of stuff in them or hops. Hoppy beers don't do well when it's warm. At all. Their flavors will get oxidized and kind of just taste like really muddled and not fresh and bright.
And there's no going back at that point.
Yeah, it's done. At
you can't like freeze it solid and then nurse it back to drinking temperature.
It's cold enough.
No, you get to go back to the brewery and buy more.
What is the temperature of your beer coming off the tap?
36.
36.
Yeah.
Ooh.
35 in the winter. We gain a degree.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And this is measured and documented.
Monthly, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that? Try to throw the
guy.
guy.
That sounds cool. 36.
Take this stuff seriously.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
So a lot of craft breweries really like to lean on a craft beer needs to be drank warm, 50 degrees, 45 degrees. Like, I'm sorry, that's just a little too warm for me. I need a cold beer. That's my one vice in the craft beer world is that even if it's a craft beer, even if it's a hoppy beer, even if it's a stout, I don't care. I want it cold. And ice cold is even... I was just telling Kevin before we started this, I was like, I meant to put these mugs in the freezer now that it's summertime. I do. I love a frozen mug. Yeah.
I do love a cold frosty beer.
Oh, man. What is more refreshing than just a freezing cold beer?
And so the problem with that is they're also a lot easier to drink.
Yeah, they are.
When they're that cold. And we should mention your vintage mugs that you broke out for this event.
Yeah.
These are not very big. These are probably, 8 ounce, 6 ounce, 8 ounce? 10,
I bet
maybe?
they're around 10.
10?
I don't think they're 12.
They're not Steins. They're
No,
mugs.
they're small. But it's a mug, yeah.
These are vintage old styles, logoed mugs that, when I grew up, my family had these things on all the shelves.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
This was this is what we drink out of.
No,
Milk,
no.
anything?
These were special.
Oh, these are the nice ones.
You didn't actually drink out of them.
When company's over, you might drink
right, exactly. Don't sit on that couch. Don't drink out of that mug. And you got these. This was part of the family somehow?
Yeah, this was Tammy's grandparents. We got to grab a few of their things out of their basement kitchen, and these were down there. I'm like, oh, I would love those. Like, anybody else want these? And no one really spoke up. I'm like, okay, they're mine. There's only 2. It's not a whole set.
No,
you guys probably had the whole set.
Oh, we had a lot of them. Yeah,
we had 24.
Yeah. So when you freeze a mug like this and it ices over, you can get like a little ice. What do they call those things, Jared?
Cube.
Sometimes they call them cube, but the real big ones are glaciers. You got right on the top of the beer. Sometimes
that's right.
Ices
I know what
over
you mean.
just enough, and you get that little crispy thing going. That's good.
Yeah, that's tough to beat.
So not to cross promote some competition here, but Willie's in town has ice cold stag mugs.
Yeah, nice. That's great.
Go in there and order a stag.
It's icy
cold.
Yep,
it's good.
Down the hatch it goes.
I used to be annoyed by it, and some bars do it great. Some bars don't. Some bars they'll get it out of some fridge that it's like, and it's like all stacked funny. I'm like, ooh, I'm not putting my mouth on that. But I don't know if you do it right. I think it's great
for sure. Yeah. Now I learned a while ago, and it's the opposite of this. That and not to sound stereotypic, but you have a lot of cultures, particularly in Asia, that like warm tea, right? So you go to any Thai or Chinese or type of restaurant, and they have the little hot tea.
Yes,
right. They drink it all the time.
Sure.
And I've read that is conducive to good health. And here's where I'm going with that, is that your body, when you eat something, your digestive acids and stuff, you're breaking down the fats and everything, and they're trying to go through your system. And if you drink warm liquids, coffee, tea, whatever, just like when you're doing the dishes, warm dishwater cleans that stuff better than cold.
Oh, and it cleans your innards better.
That's right, man. It loosens things up and it makes its way through, and you're good to go. And in America, we are a cold drink culture.
Oh yeah,
and I don't think the rest of the world really isn't.
Oh.
Yeah, not.
That's not good then.
Well, so
we've even turned our coffee into cold drinks.
I love cold coffee.
Yeah, and if you drink an ice cold water, all of a sudden that whatever was in you that was loosened up by being warmed is
now more crystallized
and tightening. Right? Yeah,
and never leaving. Huh?
It's like when you leave, you fry some bacon and leave the pan on the stove for an hour, and all of a sudden you get that layer of cooled off bacon grease. Well, that's what's inside you when you chill your stuff.
That's what's going on inside me, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's
so you
not
need
great.
to start selling hot beer, is what he's saying.
I guess.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is,
Wasser Spritzer needs to be a warm beer, huh?
Right.
There's a reason obesity is a problem in this country.
What's hot in German and hot?
I don't know.
The German word of the day. Somebody call in and let us know what hot is.
Okay, yeah.
Because that'll be your hot Wasser Spritzer.
The hot Wasser Spritzer.
But you hear people and you see people that feed their dogs ice cubes, and they say, "Don't do that. Don't do it because it'll lock up their innards." Yeah. And the same thing happens to us, but
not people, just dogs. It's like how dogs can't have chocolate, but people can. It's like that.
Well, dogs are on a higher plane than most people. Dogs are better people than people, so we don't want to hurt our dogs.
That's true. They get treated better than people too,
for sure. Yeah, but. But there's nothing that beats an ice cold beer.
No, you're right.
Or at the movie theater, for me it'd be an ice cold Mr. Pibb with a big bucket of popcorn. Oh my gosh.
Like a Dr. Pepper on draft, like off the fountain. Ooh, man. Ooh, that is tough to beat.
Right, yeah. We got people falling over in other countries right now. All the Slovenians are like doubled over going, oh, I can't take it.
Terrible. Yeah. Only warm Dr. Pepper.
Yes. And then when I heard, a long time ago that in Europe they prefer, in England they prefer beer to be warmer.
Right.
And I was like, that's gross. And then I tried it. I'm like, well, you know what? So the other side too is if it's like or the same temperature you are, your body doesn't have to acclimate. Mm-hmm. And you can.
There's no.
Drink a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it just. Yeah. So either ice cold or like your
temperature of you.
Right. Whatever that might be.
Nothing in between.
I've gotten that way with water. So if I take like a bottle of water to work, I wait an hour to drink it before it. I want it to get room temperature, and it's not because. I don't even know why. I think I just got used to it over the years or drank some warm water and it was like, I kind of like this.
I always assumed that like the Europeans do that because there's like a lack of refrigeration over there. And I'm like, we're in America and I pay a lot of money for good refrigeration. I mean, I have a lot of refrigeration units and I plan on taking advantage of all of them.
I'm going to use them all. Yeah. Damn it.
So I love everything ice cold.
Gas station. We have so much ice, it's outside for crying out loud.
Yeah, we just put it outside.
Right. Yeah, we just put it outside. We're in the heat.
Yeah. We don't want to
just give a big middle finger to Mother Nature and say, we're keeping it's 150 degrees
We're going to store ice
Here's
outside.
The ice machine. How about that, pal?
Yeah. We got to have this magazine rack inside,
Well, in the middle of summer, you got, like, baseball, you got caps and stocking caps inside the gas station, and ice outside.
And ice outside,
You know what? Just because we can.
America.
Where are we going to put our beef jerky?
Yeah, exactly. We put that in the cooler. Doesn't need to be, but we can. So you were alluding, though, that the beer that goes through the heat cycling, if you will, real things happen inside there.
Yeah, there's some chemistry things that happen, and I mean, I could bore you with all the breakdown of that, but I won't. Yeah, mainly because I don't know. But I mean, I can definitely tell if anyone can do it. Buy a 4-pack of our Blitzkrieg IPA. See, now I'm going to sell a 4-pack of Blitzkrieg IPA. Yeah. Buy a 4-pack, take 2 of them, and set them in the sun for 3 days, and then put them back in the fridge with your other 2, and see if you can tell the difference. Like you will be able to tell.
Now, I think you even had a story you told on the podcast one time, didn't you? It was so cold out that was it your glycol chiller that locked up or something?
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, well, that was on fermenting beer, so that was kind of a different situation.
You had a batch that got too warm, though, right?
Yeah, we've had to dump beer because of that for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I would think in the the brewing process that obviously temperatures are critical.
Yeah.
But this speaks to
and
what happens
that's why
after
they dump
it's,
that. Yeah, exactly.
After
Yep.
it's
This is
bottled or canned,
finished beer.
it still matters.
Well, and like a lot of, I don't know, you go to a liquor store or grocery store and they'll have like a cold beer section and they'll have beer on the shelf. Well,
Right.
if you see beer on the shelf and it's IPA, obviously that's not cold anymore. So how great is that IPA? I mean, maybe that does take a little bit. Like I said, 2 days or whatever in my example, but it would probably honestly take longer than that. I think if you stored an IPA for say a month or 2 months, I probably wouldn't necessarily want to buy that. But how do you know how long it's been there?
Yeah, right.
Well, that was a question I just had. Is I guess every store is going to be different, but what's the rotation on beer on the shelf? Whatever sells when, and
Exactly.
if it's dusty,
They will buy.
don't do it.
As soon as someone, order, so as soon as it's off the shelf, they will reorder. So it's just whatever is moving right then.
So most beer trucks, delivery trucks, are not refrigerated.
Correct. So, but I mean, usually they're coming out of a refrigerated warehouse, so it's not. And so when I'm talking about craft beer versus like macro
For
beer
sure.
is all pasteurized. And those flavors are pretty much locked in as soon as they roll out of the pasteurizer. And that's basically just raising the temperature of the finished package of beer, up into the, say, 160, 70, 80 degree range, somewhere in there. Fahrenheit.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
To our Slovenian listeners.
Yes.
And they'll hold it there for 15 minutes or something like that. And then it'll roll out of there. And then everything's pretty much done there as far as, you could warm that up, you could do whatever, and it's really not going to change.
Okay, so that's good to know. So if you're on a canoe trip and you go to a gas station,
You get some Busch Light and it's
off the shelf,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't have to
fine.
worry about
Yeah.
it because the pasteurizing process has nuked anything in it that could.
Right. Craft beer, though, I would, if it were me, and I have done this, I would first buy the craft beer over the macro. That's just me. Whether that's cold or warm, I don't care. I'm going to support that area's, craft brewery for sure. And then if I have a choice, I will buy cold craft local beer. Yeah. That's my number one choice.
In your experience, do you see gas stations and whatnot keeping the craft beer cold, or do they not realize what they're doing?
Yeah. Yes and no. It really depends on the owner and the manager.
Yeah.
And what there's only so much refrigeration space. So it's just kind of like.
So you guys keep all of your kegs in your cold room downstairs.
Well, yeah, everything we do is always cold, and I personally deliver all of our distribution beer, so I make sure that it goes into a cooler, or I just don't sell to them anymore.
But it's probably safe to assume that that's not absolutely everywhere.
Oh, no, there's a few places I had to kind of be like, no, you can't store this outside the cooler. It needs to be in if we're going to do this.
This one's special.
Yeah.
It needs to be cold.
Well, it's special because it's mine.
right.
Thinks he's special.
I'm sure everyone would love to have their beer in the cooler, but I only have a few distribution accounts, so I don't need to sell to everybody, and I don't really want to. So.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to every grocery store in the country.
But if I'm going to have my beer out there, it's going to be fresh. So.
Yeah. No, that's great. You got to maintain the standard.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I have seen some craft beer from some local craft brewers in the big box stores, not cold.
No.
Yeah.
So if you
Should
are
report that.
telling me to
report that to the
not
brewer.
order that.
well, I was going to say, so if you're in the grocery store
Remember
somewhere,
my the order that it goes in.
Yeah.
or the liquor store or whatnot, and you see something like that, maybe ask the manager, hey,
Well, yeah, I mean that's one thing. Is this fresh? Has this been sitting here for 6 months or what?
I feel like I've seen the Mill Pond stuff at Schnucks not refrigerated, like just on a regular shelf. That's not good, right?
It's not ideal. Yeah, I've talked
Okay,
with
I'll
Brian
say
about
something
that.
next time.
Yeah,
maybe you should tell him I would buy this if it was cold.
He's definitely all over that because we have had that conversation. It's
Yeah.
they got to quit doing it, and I tell them before we bring them in or before they bring us in that's how it's got to be. But ultimately, it's a communication thing. Like so, what like say Schnucks or something like Schnucks is the one guy at Schnucks that he's dealing with has to tell every Schnucks store that they're in so that it's a breakdown in communication really.
Instead of this looks good right here, that's a nice color that'll go.
Yeah.
So when you get to that point, make sure your packaging says must always be cold.
Yeah. Ours says keep refrigerated.
Yeah.
But I mean, you'd have to read it.
Well, maybe whatever the
It's kind
first
of
one,
small on the bottom, but
whatever the first one is that goes out in a mass distribution will be
Right.
the stubborn, cold ass beer.
it's freezing cold. Why is it freezing cold? Well, because it's not going to be on the shelf.
then they'll get used to just putting all the stubborn stuff in the cooler.
You need like a Coors label that changes color when it's cold.
That's what I
Ooh,
need.
There you go.
Now,
I'm sure they'd be friendly with letting me do that.
They'll license that to you.
Yeah, they'll let me borrow it.
I know a small amount of this story, not much, but that whole concept. Of course, cooler space is at a premium, and I'm guessing that the bigger breweries pay for that spot, or does the grocery store or the distributor or the retailer just go, no, we're going to allocate this much for these guys? And
I don't know. I'm not sure how that all works as far as who gets to decide where it's going to go and all that. I honestly don't know. It may have more to do with like whatever sells the most in that area.
I would be, yeah, absolutely. It's my understanding, and again, I don't know anything about this, but in the retail grocery store business, end caps are premium.
That's number one. Yeah,
cooler space, different type of displays, and of course they can capitalize on that and make more money off of those. Sell that space at a premium, and good for them for doing it. And then of course there's that whole story about eye level.
Yeah.
Versus things that are at the ground level versus up on top.
Yep.
And the value of those groceries, you get the lower quality, lower cost stuff at the bottom, lower profit margin at the bottom, and then the high profits right in front of you. And I first learned about that actually in the magazine world because it was the same way. Your super high sell-through magazines, which traditionally were like women's lifestyle stuff and celebrity gossip kind of mags.
Sure.
Those are the ones that were right in front of you.
Well, those are the best. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know it's what you had all the subscriptions to. And then, the cool stuff, the car magazines, and they were at the bottom.
Yeah, that's on the bottom, yeah. Well, car guys are used to just bending over for stuff, so it's no problem.
Yeah, and at one time, there was only like 3 distributors that stocked every store in the country for magazines. And it was like, literally, they were all in take. You had to pay them all off to get any kind of placement.
Wow.
And I'm sure that's not quite the same today, and probably not for the beer industry. But
you're probably not too far off with the beer industry. But
the proof is that it's not one beer in all of the cooler space.
Sure,
because it could be.
Sure, yeah.
Somebody could come in and go, this month we own that whole thing. I don't care what it costs. We're going to move all of it.
Or sometimes you'll see like a store owner that's just ticked off at one particular sales guy, and so that guy's competitor just gets all the premium placements.
How about that?
Like, here we are. And then they come in the next month like, hey, what about my end cap? You said, yeah, it's gone.
So now at your brewery, you guys also sell a lot of bourbon. You've got your bottle shop of retail bottles people can take home, but you're back, behind the bar where a lot of your, hard alcohol is on display. Is there any influence there from the distributors on what goes?
Oh, not from the distributors. No way. No.
But you do your own math on what you want to show people.
Yeah, they have their influence based on like what they actually sell me. That's how they can influence that, because if I don't play their little games, then I won't get the good allocated bottles. But when it's in my door, I've paid for it. It's mine. I can. There's no one saying what to do with it at that point.
Interesting. So you're not leasing it from them, and they still have an ownership. You can do whatever you want.
Yep.
That's good to know.
When I write that check, it's mine. So yep.
And then you legitimately resell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Do you guys find with the bourbon that you get people, kind of like you're saying, with placement, this one's on the front row at the top or whatever, that matters? Do people first see that and go, give me that fourth one on the left? Or do they just flip through the
I want top shelf.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All I drink.
Yeah. So, we organize it as like, we have 2 shelves. So the top shelf is the top shelf stuff, including Melcorn because it's top shelf whiskey. But the lower shelf has like everything else. And if we have it on the front, we will sell more of that. When we were having a ton of trouble getting Blanton's bottles, we used to just have it on the front because people would order it a lot, and it was just more convenient to grab it right off the front. But then I kind of noticed like people would be like, I want some bourbon. They're looking. They're like, is that Blanton's? Because everyone knows the Blanton's bottle. So I'll have Blanton's. Well, you didn't order that because like you came in wanting a Blanton's. You came in because you wanted some bourbon, and you ended up with Blanton's because that's what you could see. So like, okay, we're hiding that bottle in the back, and then we're gonna do more education with the bartenders to be like, here's some stuff that like we just got in. Here's some fun things that maybe you haven't tried. Here's something that the owner thinks you really need to get a hold of. So like that's where I think, and I think that's where like our value is. It really is to have that one-on-one connection, not just like, oh, is that a horse on top of that bottle? I'll take it.
I'll try that.
So who decides what top shelf is?
Oh, me.
There you go.
Yeah.
He scowled a little bit when he said that.
I know he's offended by that. Like,
why would you ask?
Who would? I mean, but really, who would?
Well, I didn't know if there was like
be collaborative.
a planogram you got, in the mail that said, "Hey, make sure that these are on top," because those are the universally accepted top shelf liquors.
In the Brewery Owners for Dummies book, it says these bourbons have to go on the top shelf.
Well,
No, if it's expensive, it's probably on the top shelf. If it's rare and allocated and tough to find, it's probably on the top shelf. That's about it.
So do they change?
Really.
Do things go up and down?
Oh, yeah, all the time, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Or we just get something in, even if it's not more expensive or more rare than something else. I might put it up there just to be like, hey, we just got this in, and I'm excited about it. Mm-hmm. And it's it's only $12, but still, it's on the top shelf because it's really cool.
Because it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cost doesn't necessarily mean quality.
No way. Yep. My top shelf is literally things that I think taste great.
There you go.
So
that's another sign vote that I recommend for you. Top shelf is good.
Things that taste great.
Yeah. I mean, so when you go to a restaurant and you open a menu and they've got like the little star, like recommended or
chef's pick.
Come on.
Yeah.
So this is your top shelf. Essentially, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
I think when you go to the chain restaurant,
it's whatever makes the most profit.
It's AI or
yeah.
This one makes us the most money, so you need to order 2 of them. Yeah, for couples.
Right.
Yeah.
I mentioned Mill Pond earlier, and I think now, depending on when you listen to this, you certainly won't have a chance to take advantage because I think it's tomorrow, right?
Yes,
that you guys are doing your bar hop, I guess.
We're doing a brewery hop. Yeah. So we did a collab with Mill Pond. It's an Italian Pilsner. You got to say it right.
Italian.
Yeah, Italian, which basically is an Italian Pilsner, which is basically it's a German Pilsner that's dry hopped. So you dry hop a German Pilsner with German hops. The only reason it's Italian is because an Italian brewery did this first, and so it's
the dry hopping.
The dry hopping part of it. Yep. Mm-hmm. And it's just a slightly different kind of edge to a good German Pilsner, and
it's good.
I had
just
never
had
done
a whole
one. Yeah, Brian's never done one. I've never done one. We're like, let's try that. That would be a fun collab.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I wasn't gonna make one. He wasn't gonna, so that makes a good collab. Like I was never gonna do this anyway, but now that we're getting together to do something, let's try it. Mm-hmm. So that's why we did it.
And then tomorrow, people can come to the brewery and hang out, drink a couple cans or whatever.
When
and
we
then,
open, it'll be the Mill Pond guys will be at our place and for an hour and a half, something like that. And then we'll all go up to Mill Pond.
over to Mill Pond.
Yeah, and we'll try both versions.
And you missed it.
I did.
And you missed it because
we all missed it because it was. It's
tomorrow,
but it was 4 days ago. So
whenever this really
missed it. Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully you're listening to this right now and you're going,
that was awesome.
That was amazing.
I mean that was fantastic.
Now you
I never thought I would have liked the dry hop that much.
You didn't just brew it at your brewery and then take a few kegs over to their place. Like they brewed it there also, right?
They brewed
with the same
their own version
recipe.
Yeah.
So it's not hopefully is awfully similar, but maybe not.
Yeah, I believe it's pretty much the same recipe. He was talking about changing up one of the hops, and I'm not sure if he actually did or not. So it's basically the exact same recipe. Maybe a hop was changed.
Taste
possibly.
Test.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Simul brewed.
Are they canning it as well? Are you canning it?
Yeah. So the other cool thing we're doing,
it's
which also depends on when our producer gets this out, but it might still be possible. But we can both self-distribute. So we're gonna self-distribute to each other 2 cases each. To each other. Yep. So we're going to put together a 4-pack, 2 of ours and 2 of theirs. So you'll be able to come to our place and buy.
Can you vote online?
Right.
There's no voting.
There's only one choice.
Okay, let's vote.
Is there?
It's good. It's good.
Is there one can label or Brad Kime?
No, and
special?
they
have their own.
Shoot, what did they name theirs? Italian for
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah. Okay.
We made ours a couple weeks before theirs. And yeah, it was to the point where I'm like, I got to get a name and I got to get a label going.
Yeah.
So if we're going to put it in cans and have a label, and I guess he thought of that right after that. I was like, oh, you just
That's
name
fine.
it that. I'll name this and it's fine.
And yours is called?
13 Mile Italian Pilsner. It's 13 miles to Mill Pond from our brewery.
There you go.
Nice. I thought it was like a M&M reference
It
or
was
something.
Yeah.
But
What would it
Well,
have?
it'd be like 6 mile, wouldn't
or
it?
is it
Eight-
eight,
eight mile.
mile?
Eight mile.
8 mile.
6
Yeah.
mile.
Okay.
13.
I have
The
no idea.
longest mile. The green mile.
Okay, well that's cool.
The green mile.
I'll try to get
All the
this
miles.
out tonight.
Oh,
and
good.
then,
Gosh, that'd be great. We can all promote it
I'm not doing
feverishly at midnight.
yeah, and yeah, that's cool. So I have had this can a couple times now. So you've had it a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, we've
And
had it on
then,
for a little bit. Mhm.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good. If you're coming to the brewery, it's labeled Italian Pilsner, but Pilsner can mean a couple different things to different people. But I mean, it's just a nice,
As
crisp,
can Italian.
yes, as can Italian.
I mean, there's no red sauce.
You're right. Right. Yeah, that Italian pizza, that has red sauce on it. Anyway, yeah, so I
Yeah,
think that's
it's
cool.
nice.
People can
It's
try
good.
it here.
Yeah.
They can try it there. They can vote online. No, you
vote
can't
online.
vote.
You
Go
can
to-
thumbs up it. Just
get on
www.kevinosty.com and
don't
vote.
actually. Hey, don't go there.
Oh, don't go there.
Oh, wow.
Actually, don't ever go there.
Don't-
That's his
don't-
other side gig.
Do we need to edit that out?
No, there's a story.
Oh, wow.
I don't own that,
Oh God, I'm gonna have to go
Really?
here.
but
Who owns it?
our friend Grady does,
Okay.
and periodically things appear on that
Nice.
that I'm not in control of.
Chris and
So
I
it's
are
not an
immediately
official-
going to kevinosty.com.
Yeah, no, I
I
cannot
need
wait.
to get that back, and I think it just got a lot more expensive. So thank you.
It's not getting any cheaper. I just got 200 hits.
Yeah, you can have this for $50,000.
Nice.
Control your own destiny. Just pay up.
You have to legally change your name, put an
Right.
extra E at the end of Osti or something.
Which brings me to another question, backtracking to our conversation. Italian beers.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a brand that you like of Italian? You're familiar with
13
Italian
miles.
beers.
Stubborn German, 13 miles. No, I don't know.
not
I'm
familiar.
not a big Italian beer
Moretti
guy.
is one.
The Peroni
Peroni.
is the classic, I guess. I mean, I've had that with at a Italian restaurant or whatever with
What's
some
their
pasta.
deal? Is there a hook on Italian
know.
beer? Is
I don't
there
know.
a special flavor?
It
favored?
seems very pilsner-ish, so pretty just a little bit of hot bitterness and pale colored spritzy nice beer, which would go well with pasta and Italian food anyway, because high carbonation and kind of a clean palate would go well with something that's kind of bold and flavorful and has a little fat to it. The carbonation like scrubs the fat from your tongue, makes you
Okay.
get ready for the next bite. And,
Right on.
yeah.
See?
You'd say that for most foods, really.
You learn all kinds of things on
Beers
this
and foods.
podcast.
I do. And then, what's interesting is on the way home, I forget them, but then I
Oh, yeah.
listen and I learn them
Right.
again.
Yeah. Scrubs your tongue.
Yes.
You ever had your tongue scrubbed by a beer?
Just the once.
Stick your tongue in that glass.
It's your lucky night. Well, hey, this was good to answer a whole bunch of questions I never thought I ever had. Right. I was trying to think if there was any other summer themed, beer topics.
Well, I don't know about beer, but I was wanting to talk about like, did you guys do any vacations this year or anything fun?
What's
Kevin,
that,
Kevin,
Kevin?
Cruel.
sounds like you've been to a lot of fun places, huh?
I've been anywhere.
A lot of good traveling that wasn't for work.
Thanks a lot. Rub it in, pal. No.
No, the answer is no. Okay,
The
well, that
answer
was
would
quick,
Still be
Jared.
no. Yeah, I've done some traveling for sure,
Yeah.
and in fact, last month, once again, I'm fortunate to have been brought on to MC the SEMA Hall of Fame, so the Specialty Equipment Market Association, the Automotive Trade Association that we belong to.
Nice.
They hired me to host their Hall of Fame gala, the Leaders and Legends Gala, which is pretty intense.
That's awesome.
And part of that is, so 4 individuals got brought into the Hall of Fame this year, and I got to fly to each one of their
Oh, okay.
homes
yeah.
and towns and interview them on video.
And you did something like this last year, right?
Yeah,
Where
I've done this a few times
you
now.
go, yeah.
And
That's cool.
That is really, it's an amazing experience because, anytime I mean, I don't care if you're a sports fan or if you're in business, whatever. Just whatever you're into. Imagine who those Hall of Famers are. Well, that's who I get to hang out with. You know,
Yeah.
It's not quite Michael Jordan, but for me, it's
Right.
pretty cool.
They're the best of the best of what they do, and
Yeah.
I get to go rub elbows for a while.
For sure, I get a couple hours of time that I would
that's
never
awesome.
ever get anyway. Any other way. So
Pretty cool.
Went to California, went to New Mexico, went to Nashville, and then outside of Kansas City for the 4 this year. And,
Sweet.
It was neat. Some heady stuff. Some people that, like you're saying, are really. And I'll tell you the one parallel that every one of these people, in this case these 4 gentlemen, there's 2 things that they said over and over again, and one is just don't stop.
Oh God!
Just don't stop.
I want to stop.
Well, I mean that's.
And then you're not going to be in the Hall of Fame, Chris.
Well, nobody. I don't think anybody sets out to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But
It's just-
they create an environment where things go well long enough.
Yeah.
And they innovate a product, or their team grows, or whatever it is, to the point where they're worthy of that recognition. And don't never give up is one of the big ones. And as a business owner, you and I have both been in that situation where it's like, do I have to do this again today?
Giving up would be so easy.
Yeah. Well, that's why they invented these things called weekends and days off that you and I are not really good at.
No.
You're getting much better
Not
at them.
familiar. Yeah, I'm getting better at them for sure.
Yeah. But this year I have not.
Yeah, sounds like you're going the wrong way.
Well, and it's just because our own business has had a lot of things to do. We're changing things. And before the show, Chris and I were kind of talking about, he's got this big stack of projects at the brewery. Him and Tammy want to get done. And Kelly and I have a big stack of projects at our shop. But at the end of the day, some of those are our own influence, our own timeline things. And it really probably wouldn't make much of a difference if I said, I'll just start that next week.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of work this weekend. There are things that you have to do right now. You got to make payroll, you got to pay the taxes, and those things don't ever change. But kind of finding that balance. But in a typical year, I would have gone camping several times and done a bunch of other stuff. But
Right.
the back half of the year is going to be like we're turning a corner.
Yeah.
so you know.
Okay. Good. Well, that's good. Good to hear. I'm glad it's heading in the right direction.
I'm not complaining. I enjoy what I do, and it's all great. I have had far more quality garage time this year than I've had.
Oh, that's good.
Which is good. So instead of getting to go on a camping trip for 3 or 4 days, I get like a good solid evening in my garage. And you guys have both been there. I turn my neons on and listen to my music and have a drink, and and that's my escape. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good.
Well, it is season 4 of the podcast, so you might as well just keep going. You don't need to quit now. Just
keep going.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you traveled or done anything fun yet this year?
We are about to go on vacation in a week. A week from yesterday. So,
Sweet.
my dad lives in Florida, and when we go on vacation, which isn't all that often, we tend to go visit him in Florida and just try to make that. My wife kind of complains, like, are we ever going to go somewhere else? It's like, well.
Do you end up doing stuff?
Well, it'd be weird to go to a beach that isn't
Yeah.
next to him, right?
True, yes. Now, she would like to do that at some point.
Yeah. They're all the same. It's all sand and water, right?
We've had this. You sound you sound like me. I'm sounding like her.
Different
Yes.
can
It's a
Aruba
big
be?
deal.
Right. Yeah. We do try to do stuff. Now that we have a toddler, it makes doing things more difficult. Several years ago, in fact, so we went last year for sort of like a long weekend, which I don't even count as a vacation, but hey, it kind of was. But before that, it had been like 7 years since I went on a vacation.
Dang.
And yeah, we're not those people that like make sure you take 2 weeks off in the summer and you go to,
Right.
whitewater rafting somewhere. We're going to do it this year. We aren't those people for some reason. But anyway, when we last went with our older kids, when they were kind of teenagers, we went shark fishing and tried to do some
Nice.
fun,
Sharking,
cool
I think they
stuff.
call
Yeah,
it.
sharking.
Oh,
I think.
sharking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not fishing,
Shark
sharking.
fishing, yeah.
And that was a good time. But now that we have a little kid, we have to like always take that into account. What hiking trail can't we go on? What theme park are we
Here's
not
all the
going to go
things
to?
You might as well
Yeah.
just go to your dad's.
Right.
Just hang out.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this year it'll be my whole family, my brother and sister and their significant others, my dad and his wife and her kids, so it'll be like a bigger thing, and he rented a big house for all of us. So
Nice.
It'll be
That's
more of
cool.
a vacation. We're going to find cool stuff to do. So,
Nice.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Good for you.
And one of the things I want to do, though, is we're going to Melbourne, Florida, and they have a couple of breweries in town. One we went to last time, Hell and Blazes, which was really good, and they have great food. And then I forget the name of the other one. It's like Iron something Brewery. But we're going to check that out, compare those, bring back some memorabilia.
That's cool.
Drop off some stubborn German stuff.
Isn't Foster's in Melbourne?
Yes. It's
Oh my
Floridian
gosh.
for beer.
He's slapping the table at the quality of his humor.
Yeah.
You're all welcome.
Foster's Australian for
Foster.
beer.
Jesus.
No, they don't
Well,
sell
that's cool.
Foster's down there.
Kangaroo.
Oh,
But
that, that sounds fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. And then on the way back, we're going to go through Chattanooga. They have Chattanooga Whiskey Distillery,
Choo-choo.
so
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to check
Yep,
that out.
yep.
So yeah, we'll see what we actually get to do.
Right.
That's on my
They've got
agenda.
that gum store there too.
Which comes?
Chattanooga Choo Choo, I think.
Nice.
Oh,
Yes.
the choo.
The choo choo's a thing down there. Don't
know.
mess
Don't
around
knock
with
the
that.
choo-choo.
Yeah.
I will
that'll be
say
fun.
that in September, Kelly and I actually have a trip to Italy planned.
Oh, no way.
not
Yeah,
messing
which one of the
around.
reasons why I was asking about the
you're
Italian beer.
Trying to find some pilsners.
I'll
huh?
do a little recon for you.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
It's our 20th anniversary, wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Cool.
And
great.
her family lineage is Sicilian and Italian, so we're flying to Sicily, and then we're gonna kind of jump over to the mainland and buzz up, and then fly back out of Rome. So
Nice.
yeah,
That'd be awesome.
it's gonna be cool.
Sounds cool.
It's funny because we don't really know a whole lot of what to expect outside of talking with a lot of friends who've done this,
Yeah.
in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're still a couple of months out, and we have a lot of unknowns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do this all carry on. We're just,
Sure.
because we're going to be jumping from hotel to place to stay to place to stay.
Right.
Yeah.
And, Kelly's like, we got to make sure we got, all the questions answered, like all the is it going to be a bus or a boat or a cab? We need those phone numbers now. We got to arrange all this stuff ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's in a Facebook group of people that either live there or travel there often, and they're all like, "Yeah, don't be an American. Just chill out. You'll get
Right.
there.
Don't be so American.
You'll be able to get a cab. You don't need to. It's Italy. Just relax.
That's great.
So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
could
we've
be
talked
fun.
about where I work, and it's a place we can't talk about.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
the
we'll never-
international man of mystery.
We'll
Yeah.
never talk about it.
But if you're going to leave the country, you have to jump through a lot of hoops to make that happen. You have to do
You mean you do?
like I personally would have
Yeah,
to. Anybody that would be doing that would. And it's like, security and debriefings, and you have to tell them every stop you're going to go. And if you change your plan while you're there, you have to come back and tell them why you changed your plan. It's a
Oh,
whole thing.
really?
Yeah. And so then it depends where you're going. Some places you're not allowed to go, and some places are fine. But
Are you serious? I thought you just
Oh,
made
yeah.
all that stuff
No,
about
no,
your job.
Well, if you go to North Korea, you got to let
right,
them know.
you got to let them know.
Oh, we would like to know that.
when you
actually,
cross
yeah.
the DMZ, yeah. But it's such a pain. I mean, I don't even have any interest in like going to. Of course, it sounds great to go to
International.
Italy, and then I'm like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, I don't wanna do all that.
I gotta go through all these hoops, fill out all this paperwork.
Just wait till you retire, do the
Yeah.
Men in Black thing, so they buzz you, and then you just go wherever you want.
Yeah. So, but that'll be fun. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're both looking forward to it. Kelly got her family tree documents and stuff from her
Nice.
aunt, and
Nice.
kind of knows where it all started.
You're gonna show up at their porch and be like, "I'm your."
Yeah, it's
Great,
funny
great
because
hugs
her aunt did that in
Oh,
like
yeah?
1963.
Wow. Oh, nice.
And that's her notes. She's like, "Oh, we showed up here and stayed." Like nobody's talked to him since, and
Yeah, sure.
who knows if it's even.
Yeah.
So you're gonna try it.
Yeah, if you watched. What was it, European Vacation? Yeah. Where they show up in Germany at these people's houses, and after a couple of days, you're like, who the hell was that? Yeah, that'll be us.
Sweet.
What about you, Chris? Have you or are you going anywhere?
We have and we are. We did so mostly we've done like baseball tournament like out of town trips, which is cool because like you get to go to a different town for a weekend, but with the schedule of the games, a lot of times you don't really get to go and like do
You get to watch baseball,
the things in the town. Yeah, you
just
watch
not
baseball.
here. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so you get to drive 5 hours to go to a different town and watch baseball.
And half the time you're playing teams from St. Louis who also traveled, and you're playing the same.
Oh, you've done this before.
I've done this. Yes.
You got the T-shirt, huh? Yeah, we have many T-shirts. So yeah, we've done Nashville, we've done Indy, we've done Branson, not Memphis. This
No,
year.
not yet.
Peoria earlier. So yeah, we've done all those, and it's great. And we love our baseball team, the baseball families that we're on.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're a blast. The coaches are great. The families are great. So it's always fun, and we always look forward to going. So it's nice that it works like that. But our big and last weekend we went on a float trip, Missouri float trip.
Bingo.
Kevin, Kevin, you ever done a float trip in Missouri? Okay, cool. I was wondering. I'm like, it seems like something that might have.
I love them, man.
Okay, cool.
They're a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did, the Who's On, all that stuff. So that was a blast. We were there with former podcast guests, Carrie.
Oh, right.
Kester from Barnside.
Yep.
And Andrew Glessner.
Yep.
Okay.
And Garrett Fisher, my buddy.
Nice.
So when we did the one from Kentucky on the barrel
That's
pit.
right. Yes.
But I thought of that. I was like, you guys have all been on.
Yeah.
So all of them, all their families, all of us, we did.
So he had a bunch of people from the podcast go with him, except me and Kevin.
Well, he knows not to call me at this point because I've been way too busy.
You're just going to say no.
Stuff. Yeah.
I don't want Jared to throw a microphone in front of my face.
Right.
And say, here, we're going to record everything you say.
That's the one
And
you wanted.
go.
Yeah. Everybody was experienced professionals at that point. In
Yeah, yeah. No, we didn't want that. But yeah, that was a blast. We all the kids outnumbered the adults, which was the first. Normally, like we used to do this when we were in college age, I guess, quite frequently, really. And we had a blast. And
so let me ask you this: what'd you drink?
Everything.
Well, I mean,
All of it.
All the things.
Yeah.
I brought on the river because it was 95 degrees, sun went nuts. I have the biggest sunburn of my life, except for the couple areas where Tammy graffitied me with the spray sunscreen.
big middle fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. It might as well be. No, it's there's no pattern. It's it's an abstract, but
Skin camo.
Yeah, it's great. So, but yeah, I brought a bunch of Never Say Never, the sour.
Perfect.
And that's what I drank the most of. I was like, this is just hitting the spot right now, just being hot. So. Yeah, that was good. But yeah, we had fun there. We're going to Denver. We're going to do a that's in a few weeks. So
Nice.
yeah, that'll be our big family only kind of trip, and I'm really excited. I've never been to Colorado. None of us have. Yep, I'm so excited. Yeah.
Do you know where you're going? Denver proper, or
Flying into Denver, we're going to go up to Estes Park and do Fort Collins, like back and forth. Apparently that's
Fort
just
fun.
And yeah, apparently that's just like an hour away. So our Airbnb is in Estes Park,
Oh, man,
and then
I'm
we're
jealous.
an hour away is Fort Collins, which has got like 25 breweries. So we've got like 2 days of that planned.
Cooper's Hawk.
Cooper's Hawk
Is there?
It's not on the
I
radar. Okay.
That's a bird,
It's
right?
not Cooper Smith. No, it's Cooper Smith, I think.
Okay.
Cooper's Hawk, I think there's one in Chicago. Cooper Smith is in...
Oh, I remember you talking about
I
that.
got
Okay.
a great friend of mine in
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about
Fort
this.
Collins, and
Forgot
I'll
about
shoot
that.
him a text of a couple recommendations. But they got a nice little strip there, just
That's what it
door
looks
to door.
like.
It's
Just
kind of like
kinda-
being in Waterloo. You just go,
walk around and
yeah.
So there's a few German breweries. There's a ton of like IPA breweries. Apparently up there, everybody just has kind of like our shed, just like a concrete floor, metal. Well, not necessarily metal, building, but concrete floor, and like the breweries in there, the food trucks outside, beer gardens out front. Help yourself, just have a blast.
It's
So
a great town.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
And Estes Park, I shared a photo from Estes Park just last week on my Facebook page.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was 18 months old, but it was I was there. We went camping there in 1973.
Nice.
And I don't remember
Remember
that
like
trip.
it was yesterday?
Yeah, no, I really don't remember anything from that trip outside of the fact and how much the environment, the mountains and everything imprinted.
Oh yeah,
So that's my jam,
that's cool.
and so much so that my wife and I took a vacation there.
Yeah,
and I
you
ruined
weren't
it.
there
Yeah.
too long ago. Yeah,
Right? We did it wrong.
right.
No, good for you.
I
That's gonna
almost
be awesome.
asked and then caught myself. Didn't you go to Colorado to get the hops for the Idaho Gem IPA?
Wow, I
wasn't
can't
a big-
believe you brought that up on the podcast. I thought-
It wasn't a vacation though.
No, it wasn't.
No, well, we
It
didn't
was
go
also
to
not-
Colorado
it
to
was-
get Idaho hops.
What is
I caught myself.
German for bratwurst anyway?
That's a good question. Well, no. So when we did that trip, we went out west and we did like Yellowstone, and we saw our friends that lived in Idaho, and we did all that area, and we drove there. So we drove through like South Dakota, saw that kind of stuff.
Everywhere but Colorado. It sounds
Everywhere,
like.
but it was like I think there's so much in Colorado. I would have to extend this vacation by like a week in order to like really do
month,
it.
yeah.
So we got 10 days out there. Then we're flying home. So like It's going to be cool.
Could go to Idaho Springs in Colorado.
Idaho Springs, Colorado?
Yeah, it's home of Tommy Knocker. The brewery.
All right, I'll go.
Tommy Knockers is great.
I think my in-laws were there
I'm
and brought
sure
me.
they
I
were,
remember
yeah.
seeing
Yeah,
the
I
beer
know.
bottle with
Yeah.
it. Is it like a dude in overalls with a pickaxe or something
Yeah, it's like
on
a,
the logo?
a mining town kind of thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've drank their beer.
That's like so. If you're in, I'm going to do my air map here. If you're in Estes Park,
He's pointing here.
You go over the
He's
mountain
pointing up.
range, and halfway into the mountain range, boom,
He's
right on
zigzagging.
70 is Tommy Knockers right there.
Nice. That's cool.
It's it's a good place.
Well, our listeners want to know all about where you're going on
Yeah.
vacation.
Do they?
But what they really
They're-
want to
they're
know...
still-
I'll show you the pictures when we're done.
They're
Look
still
at this
here.
one, everybody.
Yes. What listeners? Season what?
Well, so, and here's the thing. If anyone has any good Colorado suggestions for us, Stubborn German Brewing at gmail.com is the best way to get a hold of
There
us.
you go. Send it. Okay, so what they really want to know is the
What do they
German
want
word
to
of the day.
Oh, do you mean, should I say it right or the wrong way?
Wasserspritzer.
Wasserspritzer. Urlaub.
Right.
Urlaub. Of course.
Kevin said it means remote, like we're going on remote.
God bless America.
Jared said it means
doing?
a berm
You got a
because he
nice
looked out our
Urlaub
window and noticed that
outback.
there's a freaking hill outside
Yeah,
because we
it's a
still
berm.
need to do some dirt work.
Makes sense.
No, it does not mean remote or berm, unfortunately. It means vacation.
Urlaub, of course.
Just teed up
So
Exactly.
close, Kevin.
and like peppermint patty, man. The ball's pulled away. Flat on our backs once again.
Flat
Oh,
on your
man.
backs.
Well, thanks for that.
I win again.
Yeah.
I win
Go
again.
figure. Guy in control of the thing. Well, that was fun.
This was fun.
So we hope you enjoy your summer. Kick
Yeah.
it off strong, and season 4. Please stay tuned. We've got more of these to do, and we'll bring them to you. And if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe because the nonsense delivery is free. It's kind of nice. It just shows up. You don't really have to do anything.
The nonsense delivery.
Yes. And it doesn't matter if
love
you're
it.
in Colorado or Slovenia.
Yeah, wherever you are.
It'll find you. We will find you.
We'll hunt you down. You will listen to our nonsense.
That's right. For Mr. Jared Chasson, Mr. Chris Ron, I'm Kevin Ossie, and we say, roast.
We are recording.
Like right now we are?
Pretty much.
Oh.
Are we recording now?
Now we are. Not now, but now.
Can you hear me now?
So that's what you look at while we're
Yeah, you're not supposed to
podcasting?
look at that.
Oh, you
It's
never
gonna-
knew that?
It's going to throw you.
Yeah.
Hello,
You won't
hello. Oh, that's
You won't even
so
be able
cool.
to concentrate now.
So I'm on the top?
What did you think it was? Like
You're always number one, Chris.
volleyball highlights or something he was watching?
Yeah, I just stare at
I assume,
YouTube all day.
Well, he'd always come up with these great questions. I figured he was
The written-
researching.
yeah, you thought there was stuff written there.
Yeah.
No, there's not.
Oh. So I'm the only one that
Inside
does
the
show prep?
studio. Yeah.
Well, as long as 30% of the team does, we'll get there eventually.
Okay.
All right.
Guess how much prep I did for this one.
Well,
0.